2, we are going to be covering lesson 93, solving exponential equations and inequalities. So we're going to go ahead and just jump into our lesson practice and go from there. So I'm going to write, we're going to be solving this whole time, and so I'm just going to write that at the top, solve the following. So in part A, this is on page 655, I have 49 to the 2y equals 343 to the 2y plus 3. So we're going to do this in steps. I'll write it on the right-hand side. So for this kind of problem, the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite the base to be the same number. So 49 can be rewritten as 7 squared, and on the outside I still have 2y. Okay, 49 is 7 squared. Equals, I'm going to rewrite 343. That is a power of 7 as well. It's 7 to the third, and then I'm going to keep my exponent of 2y plus 3. From here, this becomes a really simple equation. So the next step is we're going to multiply exponents. So this would become 7 to the 4y equals 7 to the 6y plus 9. Right? I distributed the 2 times 2y, and I distributed the 3 to both of these. Now that both my bases are the same, the last step is set exponents equal to each other and solve. So 4y must equal 6y plus 9. So if I subtract 6y, I get negative 2y equals 9. So y equals negative 9 over 2. All right, so we're going to now use that same theory and same process to do part B. So B, they want us to solve for 3r equals 9 to the 5th. It's a very simple one. All right, so 3 and 9 are both powers of 3, right? So I can leave this guy as 3 to the r equals, I'm going to rewrite 9 to be 3 squared, and then there's still a 5 on the outside. Now I'm going to multiply my exponents. So 3 to the r equals 3 to the 10th. And then last is I get to set my exponents equal to each other. So r must equal 10. Next one. And I'm going to change from book. No, I'll leave it. All right, so they have 25 to the t equals 1 over 25. And there are two ways to do this one. I can rewrite this. There's more than one way. You can use a base of 25 or 5. There's two ways to do this. Let's say the first thing you think of is 5. So 25 is 5 squared, and then I bring down the exponent of t. 1 over 25 is the same as 5 to the negative second, because the negative is what puts 5 squared on the bottom, so you have 1 over 25. From here, you would multiply your exponents, so 5 to the 2t equals 5 to the negative 2, and so 2t equals negative 2, so t equals negative 1. That is one way to do this problem. You could have also used a base of 25. So moving on. So the above we were able to rewrite. And this next, if you cannot rewrite the bases to be the same number, then solve by putting in log form. So that introduces us to part D. So in part D, they want me to solve 45 equals 2.3 to the 2x. Now I want you to notice 2.3 and 45 cannot be written to be the same base. And so because they can't be written to, I'm going to put this in log form. So in log form, this would be log of my base of the answer equals 2x. Remember, it goes base, answer, exponent. Then I'm going to enter the left using the change of base formula. So in my calculator, I'm going to enter log of 45 divided by log of 2.3. And so let me grab my calculator. Log of 45 divided by log of 2.3. Sorry. And I get 4.57. So now I've got 4.57 equals 2x divided by 2. And I get x equals 2.3. I rounded. Sorry, you can't see that because I raised it. So I entered this in my calculator, got 4.57 divided by 2. Okay, a couple more. So part E, three E to the 2c plus 1 equals 432. Now, in order to solve this, I know we've got an E. I want you to pretend that E was an X. Okay, so for a little bit, if I was solving for this, I first need to remove the 3. So the first thing I'm going to do is divide both sides by 3. And now I've got E to the 2c plus 1 equals 144. Now I can write it into log form, but when I have E, I have to use ln base of E of the answer equals 2c plus 1. Now, this right here, we can enter in the calculator. So I'm going to put that enter in calculator. So you hit natural log of 144. And you get 4.97. I'm going to round it to 4.97 equals 2c plus 1. Subtract the 1. Divide by 2. And c equals 1.99 or c equals 2. Moving on to F. We are solving inequalities. So we're going to solve them the same way. If I have 1.5 times 2 to the n minus 1 is greater than 90. So I'm solving for n. The first thing I'm going to do is divide by the 1.5. So that gives me 2 to the n minus 1 is greater than 90 divided by 1.5 is 60. I'm going to write this as a log. So this is log base 2 of 60 is greater than n minus 1. Now I'm going to enter, well, hold on, sorry. There are two ways to solve this. I'm going to enter this in my calculator. So log of 60 divided by log of 2. Sorry. is greater than n minus 1. This gives me 5.91 is greater than n minus 1. So add 1. 6.91 is greater than n. And I'm wondering if I have that in the wrong order. When I rewrote it, I wonder if I should have flipped the sign. Sorry. There are two ways to get to the answer, but in rewriting it, I think I need to flip the sign. So I'm going to go over the other way to write it. So if you get uncomfortable writing things from exponential to log form, then you could just take the log of both sides. So log of 2 to the n minus 1 is greater than the log of 60. I'm going to write this up here. The exponent comes out front. That's the power property. Times the log of 2 is greater than the log of 60. I'm going to enter both of these in my calculator. So I get 0.3 times n minus 1 is greater than 1.78. And then we solve. Add the 0.3. 1.78 plus. Divide, and n is greater. We still get the same answer, so I would put about 7 years. So 7 years would be 2013. That was a word problem. Sorry, and I like skipped right over the. All right, part G. We're going to set up our formula. 325 times 1 minus 0.06 to the nth power has to be less than 200. And then to solve, I would divide by 325. So that gives me 1 minus 0.6 is 0.94 to the n is less than 0.62. And then same difference, I'm going to take the log of 0.94 to the n is less than the log of 0.62. So remember, the power comes out front. And I would divide, right, to get n by itself. So n is less than hold on. Oh, my sign flips because this is a negative. So the log of 0.62 divided by the log of 0.94, and I get 7.7. This changes because the log is negative. So in about 8, I think it asks when it will happen. And I'm going to skip H. And for homework, we're going to skip numbers 1, 11, 15, 17, and 26. You can't see that. Thank you.